as I said before, I'll never stop using these pictures of Leslie Headland, the feminazi, lesbian, LGBTQ freak, with the love of her life, Harvey Weinstein, her boss. So Sparrow came back today and basically said that apparently the auditors at Lucasfilm that Disney sent are looking for financial records about The Acolyte. Where'd the money come from? Because, again, this is not a fully funded TV show. I don't care what the black pill blobs say. I don't care what Jason Ward says. This is not a fully funded show. And I think the lawsuit, Karen McCarthy right here, is dropped on Lucasfilm, is where they're going to prove fraud, maybe. Because where'd they get the money? 50,000 euros here, 50,000 euros there, with no records of this show in the system, in the vaults at the studio, at Lucasfilm itself. So we got to ask, what's going on here? What kind of game is Kathleen Kennedy playing? Apparently, as far as I could tell from what we have heard through Sparrow, that it seems to me that Kathleen Kennedy has lost her mind. And it looks like it started probably in 2019 when The Mandalorian became such a huge hit. And it bubbled over in absolute resentment, in a very public way, kind of, when Skywalker returned in The Mandalorian. Now, that's just part of it. But again, what part does her husband play in this? Again, where did they get the money for what they got for The Acolyte? Why isn't it in the system if it's a real show? How come they only paid Karen McCarthy $5,000 if it's a $300 million Star Wars TV show? Okay? I mean, how come how come all of this? And you start wondering about things like criminal fraud. That's where this is going. Because I think the auditors going through, I can't imagine, but I can imagine them, if they're auditing Lucasfilm, going through emails and things like that, what they're going to find.
There is a danger. Should I have your ship standing by?
Evacuate? In our moment of triumph? I think you overestimate their chances.
The fleet has moved out to flight speed and we're preparing to...
You have failed me for the last time, Admiral. Apology accepted, Captain Nida.
Because, in my opinion, what's going on here is actually, it looks to me, she's shut out of her accounts from what the rumors are saying. She can't change any email. It's all being held so it can be picked over that this is actually looking for maybe criminal malfeasance. I'm serious, okay? And you're wondering who's going to be named in all this. Look at the leadership listing on Lucasfilm to see who could be named on this. I mean, Janet Lewin, that Rhonda Hjort, Candace Campos, Rain Roberts, any one of these people. And you're kind of like, okay, now you're understanding just how bad this could be. And think about this. Did Kennedy get money from, I don't know, Victoria Alonso for this, where did the money come from? If it didn't come from her discretionary account at Lucasfilm, where did the money come from? And I think that's what Bob Iger wants to know. Okay, and with the sad box office for Indiana Jones 5, I mean, but I blame YouTube too. When you have people who can bitch about woke and don't know what woke is, complaining without seeing the show that it's woke, I don't know what to tell you. I don't consider a black female Pam Grier looking CIA agent to be woke. To me, that's bad casting, okay? That's not woke. That's just stupid, okay? But there was nothing woke in this. We've had feminazis in films and TV since feminazism began, okay? And so Phoebe Waller-Bridge actually was softened. So, the narrative that big YouTube put out there is bullshit. It's bullshit. Sure, what were you right about? He doesn't die at the end. So what were you right about? She doesn't walk away with the whip and the hat. So what were you right about? Nothing. Okay? But it's going to suffer because of the narrative Disney allowed YouTube to run with. It's going to suffer because of Phoebe Waller-Bridge's casting. It's going to suffer because the fact of the matter is that Steven Spielberg and George Lucas weren't part of it, and Kathy Kennedy was. And it went from a $300 million budget to $500 million. So unless an earthquake hits and people suddenly get their rationality back, it's not going to make its money back. And Iger knows it, okay? And why we waited so long for the Acolyte to be investigated, which, in my opinion, looking at the rumors coming out of Lucasfilm, what we know, they're looking at money. That's what the audit is about. Where did the money go? Where did it come from? Where did it go? And, it might not be embezzlement, but if you're taking money from another part of Disney and it wasn't yours to make your stupid sizzle reel, you're in trouble. Maybe if your husband is giving you money for it, and you were told we're not financing this piece of shit, you're in trouble for it. Especially since it wasn't green lit, it wasn't fully funded. In my opinion, that doesn't make a show, so it's fraud. Look, here's something from today. Single Drunk Female, which was a show that Leslie Headland was an executive producer on, was canceled by Freeform today. Leslie Headland supposedly has Night's Edge that she's going to executive produce and direct. Does she still have that? It was never mentioned. Okay, so that could indicate it's not happening. This is all part of as much as I hate the writer's strike, because it's hurting Friends, and it's hurting the industry, a lot of this stuff, really bad stuff, I think, that people have done is coming to light. And I think this Acolyte thing, she was told it wasn't going to happen. Look, the Black Pill Blobs can say, well, she has a streaming show, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's Andor. Okay, it's Andor. All right. There you go. That's it. It's not the Acolyte. The Acolyte was never greenlit, so go sit on it and twirl. Tell Pablo to fuck himself, okay, from me, okay? He's lying to you. So this is, in my opinion, a very interesting moment. Kennedy's been given 2 weeks notice. It paid leave, but seriously, it's 2 weeks notice. And it looks to me like Iger's gathering information to fire her ass, okay? And, you know, I would assume they have someone they want to put in there, ready to go. All right. We don't know. Is it contingent on the sale? Is the sale even happening? I don't, that rumor has not borne wings lately. Okay. So I'll put that on the side. We'll say it's going to happen or it's not, 50-50, whatever. But fact of the matter is Kennedy's gone. And I would say yesterday was the day that while it's her unofficial firing, that she was canned. Okay? It just, and it's an Iger move, and it's insulting, but she deserved it. Again, Bob Iger goes home to Willow Bay at night and looks at his wife and goes, these crazy fucking bitches. And that's exactly what they are. Okay? So we just got to sit back and watch what happens. Okay? Now, these rumors have not made it to the rags. People have denied it to reporters at Lucasfilm, the Flying Monkeys. Look, I mean, they can't be walking around deluded that they're going to keep their jobs now. They thought after the last big layoff that they would, but no. I mean, it's one of those things where, are you kidding me? You're the dessert. Lucasfilm employees and Kennedy are the dessert in this, okay? All right. Anyway, I wanted to put this out there. I'm going to leave a link to Cameron's Patreon. Subscribe because you'll get the full story. And I'll see you guys around the galaxy. Have a good evening.